Hello, everybody. We're starting in 2 minutes. I'm waiting for Daniel to come in. Hola, Mary, Denise.
Hello, Rubens. How are
Hello. Very nice.
you? Yeah,
Can you hear me properly, right?
I can hear you well, no problem.
Okay. Let's give just some minutes for some people to come in
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we just started a little bit before I started to join. Is my image for you? My image is good?
It's good. It's can see you loud, clearly, no problem.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. You can hear me as well, and it's all
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Everything.
Okay. Good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a replay now.
It's a replay update.
An update, yes.
Many I think change it and the same, right?
Oh, I'm starting not to hear you sometimes.
You don't hear me now.
I can hear you, but you just can you talk continuously just to
Yes. Is it better now?
okay, now it's loud and clear. Yeah.
It's better now, right?
Yeah.
So let me adjust things here, and I'll make that better. How is it now?
It's fine. It's really fine. Yeah. Okay.
It's the position here in the room that changes.
Okay. Yeah.
So Daniel, I
Yeah.
forgot the last time to say that you are also a musician, right?
A musician? No, I'm not really.
No, you are. What do you do with music? Do you do something with music or not?
Well, I do a little bit of drumming, but that's it. Really, I'm not really a musician. No.
Okay.
But I like music, though. But
Okay, good.
yeah.
So, Daniel, so I think we go and start bit by bit, and
Yeah.
let's update a little bit more what's going on. So in Brazil, here in São Paulo. First, the part of the healthy system, the virus is growing.
Yeah.
People, we are living in a kind of chaos because some people can stay at home, and most of the people cannot stay at home because of surviving situations, etc. And the government is still sending double messages or crazy messages. So it's a kind of chaos in Brazil. I believe now in England or in London, you are becoming a little bit more organized, no?
It is a bit more organized,
Yeah.
although it's not. They've been late to organize. Really, from the start, they've been a little bit. How can I say, laissez-faire? It's the best way I can talk about this. It's been frustrating for a lot of people, particularly for the people in the front line, really. And also the lack of testing is one of the things that, it's the idea of there is a lot of PR, but not a lot of organizing, let's say.
Yes.
So that has been a real problem, and it's still a bit some problem because now it's going down a bit, the number of deaths, although the calculation of them is also contested because it's much less than it is in reality. It's nearly 40,000. It's about 38,000 right now, I think, and it will. Some estimate are saying 50 to 60,000. So it's a big difference. There is a problem there. The other problem is also that they are easing the lockdown.
Yes.
In stages in England, particularly, actually not in the other nation of UK. Scotland is still on lockdown, as well as Northern Ireland and Wales. So England is the one that is easing off more. Is of course, there is an economic incentive for that. There's quite a few people that do not want to lose their business as well. There is that, and I have to respect that as well. But on the other hand, there should be more testing, and there isn't. The population is not tested. Only the people that are in hospital and now in care home. Even care home were not tested before. So it's very slow. It's somewhat disorganized. There is a lot of promise, and it's not. They're not keeping to it. They're very slow in implementing things. So it is a bit of a problem because with the lockdown being eased off, then there is an individualistic aspect to English people. Really, it is a nation that is very individualistic. So some people are very happy that the lockdown is eased, but some others are quite fearful, really, because you go out and they don't ask people to have any mask or anything. Although they say to be with the family or the people that you were with as much as possible, it doesn't seem to be respected in many places, particularly in public parks and in beaches as well that have been open now. Not everyone, but yeah. So there is still a problem there. It's a conservative government that there is an ideology of laissez-faire, I think, in there,
Yeah.
which I do understand that people do not want to be restrained too much and restricted too much, and I agree with that, I think. But there are ways to do that. There are ways to get there, and it doesn't seem to be happening that way. Not quickly enough, anyway. Yeah.
One of the things I discover here, it's very interesting because it moves a lot our trust on everything. For example,
Yeah.
I did the test, and my test was negative. But I was told that a negative test doesn't mean anything because many people that with COVID that went to the hospitals and then left the hospital already okay on health, and they made the test, and the test was negative too. It means that the test, in fact, does not detect properly, if you have antibodies or not. So that creates a lot of questioning, not only about the tests itself, but about the information we receive from different resources, like scientists. One say one thing, the other say another thing, the other say another thing. So we never have the correct fact. We have a lot of beliefs on people believe on things, So it's like scientists, they are becoming like religions. You believe or you don't believe,
And you have a certain slant as well, that's the thing. It's like in psychology, when, you have different type of psychology, different belief in psychology. And I think science, although they talk about being materialistic and being, sticking to the fact, but it's the way that you see the facts often that interpret and color it in a different way, from one ideology to the other, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after, for example, after people are here are maybe already 2 months, they are at home, some people, one part of the population, but the majority is not at home, in fact, so these people that are at home for the last 2 months, 1 month and a half, they now started to reconsider a lot of things, reconsider and started to inquire the world and inquire themselves, to find where we can trust, where we can find trust, in the informations or in yourself, you know? How can you deal with the chaotic thing that is going? And that's creating a new moment, you know. You see, after 2 months in isolation, you know, you start to think differently, you know. You started to be in touch with new possibilities. What's going on, in fact, you know? How are we going to deal that, even if we don't have the correct informations, you know? So that's creating a new anguish, but it's a good anguish, because I think people start to think, you know, to reflect about what's going on independently from the informations and the news. The media is all the time bringing in, you know. So I think that's a new thing that's going on after 2 months, you see.
Yeah, there is a lot of reflection. People are self-reflecting much more, and they are really, as you say, they're putting things in the perspective, because it is, you know, on one hand there is the fear, there is the idea that you know, there's something that can kill you out there. You know, although it's not the first day, it's not the first time, but this brings it to people. So there is a shock. It started with shock here in England. The people were in shock at the beginning. Now it's more fear, and it's also puzzlement as well. As you say, you know, there is a lot. So there is a process happening here. There is certainly a process of reflecting about, as you say, about the information, what we get, what the media are telling us, what some group are telling us, and so on. And you have to deal with it. You have to think by yourself more and more.
Yes,
which is not a bad thing, actually, to be honest.
well, you have to think by yourself, and maybe you have to find the correct people to dialogue, you know. To find your friends that are reflecting about it, you know, and exchange with your friends or with your family, so that you don't have to stay only alone, you know. Like somebody else is saying here, Anita is a friend, a poet friend here in São Paulo. She's saying it's not only about fake news, but also about informations, you know, or no informations, you know. So because everything is becoming somehow fake news, because even from science, you know, we don't know what's correct, what's not correct. So what's not correct is fake, you know. So so it's a moment in the civilization, you know, that we have to run to find the truth, you know.
We do have to seek the truth, to actually ponder. Really, we have to ponder. We have to reflect about what is thrown at us.
Really. Yes.
And also see the people around you. I think it is interesting here. Of course, the news are all about the COVID, and it's on and on and on. It doesn't stop, actually. And then you have those moments where you have a lot of people that are telling about their own life, and that is more interesting, actually, even, you know, on television, for example. But with the neighbors here, we can see, we can feel that there is, as you said, there is this feeling of reflection about what am I, you know, it's like there will be a before and an after.
Yes.
What will happen, we don't know, and how much it will change people, or some people, we don't know either. But it will certainly leave a mark into the psyche of people, and for the best, hopefully, and perhaps for the worse for some people as well.
Yes. There's another friend here, is a psychiatrist, our friend Carlos Briganti. Hello, Briganti.
Yeah.
He's asking here something interesting that is going on in Brazil now. In Brazil, the political leaders now are prescribing drugs for the people, you know, even in pharmacology, pathophysiology, medicine, etc., even if they are not a medical doctor. So the president of Brazil is prescribing drugs, you know, like
hydrochloroquine. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Did it happen in England that too, or not?
Actually, in England it didn't happen, but they have stockpiled that particular drug.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not sure, because there is no evidence. Apparently, there is no evidence about this. It could be dangerous as well. So it is difficult to say why, really.
Well, it's probably a political position that is it's in a way we can try to understand, but a political position that has nothing to do with a medical position, right?
Yeah, it could be. It could be a business.
So, they like to take the chance, you know, to find the emotional solution for the population. That's not correct, right?
Mm. I don't think it is, because it's. I mean, there's so much negative information about this that it is a strange situation, really.
Yeah.
What is been done, even in front of what is the reality on the ground. So it is sometimes it's very divorced one another.
Yes.
That is revealing an awful lot about the political system, really, and certain political system particularly.
Yes.
Anyway.
And so, and then for us, you know, I think it connects directly with the meaning of things, because it's very easy that we lose the meanings, because with so many fake news or fake informations or wrong information, the meaning of things, they become strange, you know. Where are you going to find the meaning? So that's another thing after trust, is to try to find what's the meaning of all that, you know, in our life.
Yeah. But it sometime in my more pessimistic thought, it's you wonder if that profusion of direction and that loss of meaning, as you say, it's like nothing means anything, because things have been said and have been cheapened as well. You know?
Yes.
And it throws people into a sort of a confusion, and throws people into, well, us, into a sort of void, really.
Yes.
And perhaps it's, perhaps it is a plan for them, or for the authority, or for the power that be, whoever they are, to fill the void. You know, it is. Reich did write about fascism about 100 years ago, really, and so the mass psychology of fascism, for example, and it's starting to be relevant again today. It was always relevant, but now it's like, wow, we're going back 100 years, like we went back 100 years with this pandemic. If we think about the Spanish flu, for example.
And so,
yeah.
So you were bringing something really nice, which is the void. You know, people are in the void, and then they become very much afraid of facing the void, or
easier to control as well.
Sorry?
Easier to control as well.
Easier to control, because they are afraid, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you are afraid, you look for trust wherever, right?
Yeah. You look for certainty, and authoritarian regime will give you a certain certainty.
So because the authoritarian regimes, they affirm this is the correct thing, and then people are in panic, they run for the correct thing, and they don't have consciousness that they are in fact going to make an alliance with the fascistic place, right? Authoritarian and fascistic place. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's very important that we are sharing that, so that when you are afraid, please be calm. Talk with your friend. Don't
take your time. Have a laugh.
Have a laugh.
Have a laugh. Yes.
Take your time. Take your time before you take any decision, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And speak with people that are actually good people that you trust, really, people that are closer to you.
Yes.
Well, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in case of doubt, don't do anything, right? That's an old one.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Yeah.
And Daniel, tell me, at this moment that England is opening bit by bit,
yeah.
How do you feel by this opening? Do you go outside easily, or you go outside with a lot of attention? How are you reacting to them?
You know, if you talk about me, well, I have to be very careful because I live with somebody that is vulnerable. Yes. That is classified as vulnerable, so she's shielding, that they call shielding. So I have to take more precaution.
Yeah.
So when I go out, I'm very aware of of other people, and I'm putting a mask. Quite a few people are putting masks, even if nobody tells them to do so, because it feels like the thing to do, really, when you are with a lot of people, and in a situation where it can be transmitted. Still, there is still, we still have 400 dead per day in this country. So it's not finished. It's really not finished. It's not as bad as having 900 like we did have. Yeah. So when I go out, I'm very aware of that. So I just, and other people are as well. Most people, I would say the majority of people are very sort of respecting of one another. I have to say that. But you always have the people that are sort of, let's say, I like my freedom.
So they see
me, or not really considering the other. So
they jump into freedom, right?
Pardon?
They see freedom, they jump into freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom is outside, always outside.
Exactly. Yeah, well, if they want to have a run, that's good, but don't have a run, and hit, too close to people. For example, the same with bicycle. There's a lot of bicycle in London now. Yes. The traffic has not taken, it's still very low. So the pollution, the air is a good quality, I have to say that. And perhaps that may be part of a reflection of people as well. We were talking about things that bring self-reflection. When you realize how much better the air is, that is also making you ask question about, okay, should we always have cars in the middle of the city? Could we have period like 1 day a week, for example, where cars are, you don't take your car, you just do bicycle, you just do walk and run, and it's like a day a week of breathing for the planet, really. Yeah. That would be my my wish, really, if that could happen, maybe. But that's a reflection that I had, and other people have as well. So
yes, sure. See, this is one of the things I'm thinking about. What's the best thing that we are going to carry, for the future from this experience, right? Yeah. For example, being attacked by an invisible enemy. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a war, but it's an invisible enemy. How how we are going to do in the future about that? You know, how are we going to do in the future about that? What's going to change? You know, in what we expect that is going to change, because I have no illusions that the world will change, but I think some people will change, you know.
Yeah, I think so too.
And we have to carry on the good things, like, for example, the good air we are breathing in London and São Paulo. São Paulo has a good air now too, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The good air, the silence of the town, you know, the possibility to stay at home in reflection, you know, all these kind of things, you know. The capacity of being with yourself and being creative, for example, of reading or doing whatever at home that comes out from your void, which is real. That, no?
Well, it's existential, isn't it? So
existential, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and how are you when you go out now in São Paulo?
You know, in these last days, I'm changing a bit. I'm finding out that it's possible to go out inside the limits, as you said. You know, like using mask, or you can go for a walk when there is anybody. You can even go without a mask if there is nobody on the streets, because the virus is not on the air like that, you know. So I'm discovering also that you can meet some people also in the limits of distance use masks. You can see people. I'm finding out that maybe I can see people in my office again. You know? That's okay if we keep the distance, if we have the windows open, you know. We have to have a good sense of the things, you know, and stop kind of running away from an invisible enemy, you know, and deal with the situation, because this situation will stay around for some time, you know. And we have to find a way to live our lives.
Yeah, we have to think about that, because effectively, there are ways that things can be done, particularly in the summer. In the winter here, I'm not sure how it will translate, but we will see. It's a bit like when we started to do online body psychotherapy with this situation. We discovered that it was possible to do body psychotherapy online. But of course, there is no touch. But there is, you know, the principles are good enough. We can, you know, we can do quite a lot of embodiment type work through the media, at a distance. But effectively, the problem will always be the touch. Particularly in biodynamic, we do use touch. It can be massage, it can be body, some type of psychopostural treatment. And it can be also just being with the person with vegetotherapy, for example.
Yes.
Which it's a little bit more difficult online, but you can do some of it online, but it's not complete. You know, there is a limitation there. So yeah, we have to find a way to, because effectively, I think it will be for a while. There will be restriction for a while. I am not sure how this will happen. Some people would talk about using gloves, so that at least there can be some contact. Perhaps using also a mask as well to be a bit closer. So certain mitigating things that will allow for closer contact. But that's, you know. But as I say, I think there's a big shift. This brings a big shift in the body psychotherapy because of what we have to be creative now. Remember Gerda Boysen talking about doing body biodynamic or body psychotherapy with the voice. I do body work with the voice, and yes, you can absolutely. You can use the voice. You can, and the tone, the level, you can allow a person to go deeper. You can allow a person to really contact themselves, to go a bit lighter. That is, that is all there. The principle is very sound, which is what it's a good discovery when we were obliged to go online like this. So perhaps we will need to develop even more of that, even when we are face to face with the individual.
Yes. We probably for some time it will be really uneasy.
Yeah.
It will be uneasy to go and touch. So it will be a bit. I think we have to respect the time we need to recover that in a more safe situation, right?
Yeah, we do. You said it. We need the time.
Yeah.
At some point, when we were to go online, what do we do? Training and all that, and what do we do? There was a bit of a sort of a stress. So we have to do it. We have to do it. We have to do this and that. Well, we did. We managed to shift fairly rapidly, actually, to this online that we didn't know about, really. It was a new world for us. But now we need to take the time that is necessary to really adjust, to really not go just on one way, and really ponder, really. And it is, perhaps it will develop something new that we haven't completely perceived so far.
Sure. I think we are really going to bit by bit adapt and find new ways of getting closer.
Yeah.
Yes. And we can work, as I said, with the voice, with the eyesight. We can look.
Absolutely.
We can look each other. We can look inside. We can look outside. We can hear. And also we can work with touch from far away too.
We can. Yeah. Well, I do work with the aura, for example. Even online, I did some aura work. And it worked, so it was really fascinating, really.
Yes. One thing that I found fascinating, for example, if I touch myself here and you at the same time do the same thing,
the mirror.
Are touching each other somehow,
Absolutely, it's like a mirror neuron type of thing.
Exactly.
It is much more effective than you would have thought. So that's why I'm saying that all these principles are actually quite sound. They can be used, and that's a big test that we had with by having to go online by obligation, really. So that it was a good for me. It was a good creative and productive time, really, in relation to discover this new media.
Yeah, sure. Yes. And most interesting of all, I think in the future, if we get to the point that we are safe and free to recovering the touching process, then we already add so many new things, and probably the work will change. It will bring new consciousness, new awareness for people.
As having some Jungian background, I was very interested by synchronicity, that principle of synchronicity, which involved the distant things happening at a distance, really. And I feel that what we do online, although we have the vision because of the video, but what we do online, there is this intention that is there, that is quite synchronistic in many ways.
Yes.
Because synchronicity is about meaningful coincidence, but not just. It's also the other part of the principle of synchronicity is about connecting with a person at a level that is how can I say, synchronous, in the sense of you know, when you say we do some massage online, we do that.
Yeah.
That is also, there is an energy that is transferred there, and that is part of the other section, less known, of synchronicity, of Jung's synchronicity.
Yeah.
So that is something I think to develop more, to understand more.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Because as soon as you made this movement, I felt like doing it. It was instantaneous resonance to you, you know,
Resonance,
and empathy for mirroring you, being touched and touching, you know. So we can. This is very important, you know, because in fact I am not mirroring me here. I'm mirroring you here. You know, you are the other side of me now.
The other side. That's it. Yeah, exactly.
You are the
That's
other
what you see in your mirror now. I'm what you see in your mirror.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's that could be interesting. I can see a novel made out of it. Yeah.
You are the other side of me. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The double.
Good. Is there anything else?
Well, yeah, I think we touched quite a lot. You know, I think we talked with about quite a few things, really. Yeah, just one thing that happened going online, what a lot of complaint is, that's very, very technical, is how people feel much more tired being in front of the screen. And you see these here. For me, I had to buy special glass. I don't need glass. I could be working like that, but you know, I would end up with my eyes completely red and not in a good way. So this is just to stop the what they call the blue light that is projected. So we need to understand that too, you know, from a very practical level.
Oh yes.
So and it helps an awful lot. So I just wanted to say, to plug this.
Because it's like we need to protect ourselves
Exactly
from the online work, from mirroring, because in fact from mirroring the screen that projects some ions and energy onto our eyes, onto our bodies too, and that needs protection. Yes, true.
And also some you know, you have things that are sold for neutralizing the electromagnetic effect as well. I have one on me, and quite a few people have that nowadays because of the mobile, but it also helps with computer and with Wi-Fi. Yeah. So yeah, that is just a very practical note.
That is an important note. Just tell me something. What could we say for the future? What kind of message could we leave here for the now, for the here and now, and the near future somehow?
Wow. Space. More space.
More faith.
More space.
Yes.
And more and space, but I mean inner space as well. I mean the time to reflect, the time to not always be in the run, you know, and try to regulate that. And I think that should be outside as well, should be in society as well. Mm-hmm. Finding, you know, in the past, you know, I come from a Catholic country, and in Quebec, Canada, and in the past, when I was young, you have the Sunday that was, you know, nothing was happening on the Sundays. And now, although I'm not religious, I think perhaps there should be a day, a week of just breathing and just space, you know, and not from a religious point of view necessarily, but from a a climate point of view, from Earth point of view, from a society point of view, because that we have lost that. You know, in my lifetime, your lifetime, we have lost that, and it's quite a big loss. When now we, you know, this is one of the main thing that I'm thinking of.
We are
for the future.
Yeah,
trying to restore that.
I like you said about faith, because faith is connected to the person. It's not a religion. It's something that comes in, you know. Faith for everything we do, faith for the future, you know. It's kind of energy or fire we have inside ourselves to move and make us move. And mobility is important at this time too. And also the other thing I like that you said about the space, I think is the possibility that we are having now of expanding our space and time from a different perspective. You know, time is not anymore acceleration. Time is much more stay inside and open space inside yourself to find your freedom inside. You know, so I think the experience of time and space is changing too, and I hope we keep that for the future. We keep that space and this new space and new time for the future, you know, and don't lose that. Don't let go that by all the informations and the sucking things that come from the outer space, from the clouds, you know. So that we can keep ourselves connected and making meaning of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because that's personally, I think that's what life is about, is making meaning of who we are, of what is happening, of, you know, it's I do agree with you. I do follow you there.
I do it. You are the other of me now.
Okay, there you go. You know, the double.
Thank you, Daniel.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And thank you for
always
this
nice to be with you. It
Yeah,
feels
nice.
good. And you brought so nice and intelligent things and experience. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
See you next.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, how do we get out now?